The galaxy fell silent when the ancient human warship emerged. They thought humans were extinct, wiped out in a genocide that scarred the galaxy's history, until a shadow from the past shattered their illusions, forcing every species to question their very existence. In the vast chamber of the Grand Assembly on Solaris Prime, the heart of galactic politics, 45 species clashed over the ring crystal's mining rights. The planet, a neutral hub with a diameter matching ancient Earth's 12,642 kilometers, symbolized fragile balance. Its architecture soared with crystalline spires and holographic domes, designed to amplify voices across light years. But today, those voices thundered in discord. The debate raged hot. Industrial factions demanded 70% extraction from the ring crystal, an energy source packing 24 joules per cubic meter. Conservationists countered, capping it at 15% to avoid catastrophe. Zorath delegates pounded tables with metal claws, echoing at 500 hertz like war drums. Sealan envoys broadcast mental fury, spiking brainwave interference to 20 decibel equivalents, scrambling thoughts in the hall. Amid the storm, Dr. Kala Kane of the Nexus species tried to mediate. Slender with pale green skin from her replicated genes and silver-flecked eyes that hinted at data implants, she projected calm. As a leading scientist, her role was to ground arguments in facts. Over-extraction risks temporal space collapse, she stated, voice steady over the din. Probability stands at 42%. We must prioritize data over greed. Tensions peaked as accusations flew. A Krieg warrior snarled at a fragile Etherian diplomat, claws inches from fragile membranes. Then, without warning, the temporal routing network failed. This system, pulsing at 10⁻⁶ bits per second across time streams, severed all 1-200 channels at once. Holograms flickered out. Comlinks died. The chamber plunged into eerie silence. For 45 seconds, nothing. Delegates froze, cut off from homeworlds. Panic rippled. Terror attack? A Zorath growled, Voot ready. Others whispered of sabotage. Kala acted first, tapping her wrist console to trigger emergency protocols. She scanned residual data, hunting temporal distortions. Her silver eyes narrowed on anomalies, ripples in the timeline fabric, not random failures. General Vorak, the Krieg military lead, rose. Hulking in armored plates, he barked orders. Activate galactic shields. Cover 80% of borders with 5 billion watts. His faction nodded, eyes on immediate action. But splits emerged early. 22 species backed thorough probes, echoing a 150-year history of rushed wars. 23 demanded strikes now, fearing invasion. Kala's scans deepened. The blackout wasn't sabotage. It screamed superior tech. This is no glitch, she murmured, sharing prelims. It's a force bending time itself. Whispers spread. If not internal, what entity could wield such power? The assembly teetered, alliances fracturing like the crystals they fought over. As systems rebooted partially, alarms blared. Sensors detected an inbound anomaly. Delegates turned to central holoscreens, hearts or equivalents pounding. The silence broke with a collective gasp. This wasn't ordinary. It was a harbinger of truths long buried. Vorak's forces mobilized quietly, prepping defenses. Kala pushed for caution, her data showing non-hostile intent. But fear won rounds. We investigate, one moderate said, or we perish in ignorance. The divide sharpened, mirroring old feuds. A Cylon projected doubt, amplifying unease. Kala felt a personal tug. Her memories flickered oddly, flashes of worlds not in records. But duty called. She coordinated scans, linking with allied techs. The chamber hummed with partial restores, but the core mystery loomed. Then the pivotal mark. The network's synchronous collapse confirmed external mastery. No mere fault, a deliberate echo from beyond. The assembly realized this force outmatched their tech, hinting at legends reborn. Tensions coiled tighter, setting the stage for revelations that could unravel the galaxy's fragile peace. Vorak slammed a fist. Prepare for contact. Kala nodded, her mind racing. Whatever was approached, it carried the weight of Eris. The hall, once a symbol of unity, now cradled seeds of chaos. Species eyed each other warily, old grudges surfacing. The ring crystal debate faded. Survival loomed larger. In that moment, the galaxy held its breath. Kala's console pinged, a faint signal threading through distortions. Not an attack code, but a message. Delegates leaned in, the air thick with anticipation. The blackout's cause neared, promising to redefine everything. General Vorak deployed scouts, vectors plotting intercepts. Kala cross-checked anomalies, her implants whirring. Temporal shear, she confirmed. It's approaching fast. Whispers of extinct races stirred. Humans, the myth. But myths didn't bend time. The chamber's lights dimmed briefly, system straining. A Zorth delegate hissed, "We stand ready." Cylon's shielded minds bracing for psychic assault. Kala stood firm, her role pivotal. Science would guide or doom them all. As the anomaly closed, the assembly united in unease. The event's scale dawned. This could end eras or birth new ones. Vorak's shields hummed online. Energy fields spanning borders. Kala's data flowed, piecing puzzles. Silence returned, heavier. Then screens crackled to life. The force revealed itself, not as foe, but enigma. The galaxy's balance tipped, forever altered by what came next. The central holoscreens, 50 by 30 meters, flickered with a 60 hertz pulse, then steadied. An image materialized, a colossal warship, the Elysian Arc, stretching 15 kilometers, its hull glinting with Titan vibranium alloy, rated at 1 trillion Pascal durability. Gasps echoed through the Olaris prime chamber. Delegates froze, eyes locked on the beast that dwarfed their fleets. A deep voice cut through, resonating at 80 hertz via galactic standard tongue. "We have waited long enough. Truth cannot stay buried." The message looped thrice, each repetition colder, heavier. The chamber erupted in murmurs. Humanoid delegates paled, recalling tales of humans, extinct, they thought, after a genocide claiming 10 Westernine lives 300 years ago. Dr. Kala Kane, her pale green skin catching the screen's glow, tapped her console. Data streamed, confirming the Ark's drive warp time itself, moving at 0.8 C. The blackout, lasting 300 seconds, stemmed from this distortion, not sabotage. "It's a temporal lock engine," she announced, voice firm. "Efficiency at 99.9%. It preserves life across centuries." Her silver-flecked eyes scanned readouts, piecing together tech no species here matched. The Ark's modules pulsed faintly, housing 2 million souls, humans preserved in cryogenic stasis. Its design screamed purpose. A city ship, not just a weapon. Kala's scans flagged memory archives, hinting at historical records untouched by galactic tampering. The implications hit hard. If humans survived, the Council's legitimacy teetered. General Vorak growled, his armored bulk shifting. "Deploy 500 warships. Block it at 1 AU." His faction, 40% of the Council, saw a threat, not a mystery. Their lasers, packing 1 quadrillion watts, are primed for action. But the peace bloc, holding equal sway, urged restraint. "Listen first," a Cephalon envoy hissed, tendrils twitching. "We avoid war through knowledge." Chaos reignited. Cylon delegates amplified psychic signals, hitting 40 decibel equivalents, doubling prior intensity. Minds reeled under the strain. Kala held focus, cross-referencing Ark's trajectory. It settled into orbit at 200,000 kilometers, triggering every sensor in the system. This was no ghost, it was real, deliberate. "Is it them?" A Zorath delegate snarled, claws scraping. "Humans, back from Ash?" The question hung, splitting the room. Some saw opportunity, tech to seize. Others feared upheaval. The ring crystal, with its 1030 jewel reserves, faded as a priority. Survival trumped greed. Kala's console pinged. The Ark's signal wasn't hostile, but its presence screamed power. "It's not attacking," she said, projecting calm. "It's broadcasting identity." Her data showed no weapons hot, only shields humming at minimal output. Yet Vorak's fleet tightened formation, ready to fire. The Council's split widened, action versus inquiry. A Cylon envoy, eyes glowing, pushed a thought. "If humans live, our histories lie. Whispers spread. The genocide's records, taught as truth, claimed a 0.1% survival rate. Yet here was a ship, a relic, defying that narrative. Kala's mind snagged on her own memories, flashes of worlds unlisted in archives. A glitch in her replicated genes? She shoved doubt aside, focusing on data. Vorak barked orders. Scouts, report. Weapons lock. His ships, sleek and lethal, fanned out. Kala countered, sharing scans with allies. No aggression detected, she insisted. We need contact, not combat. Her voice, though soft, cut through. The peace block rallied, gaining 3 species support. The Ark loomed larger on screens, its hull etched with scars from forgotten wars. Each module, a self-contained habitat, pulsed with life signs. Kala's scans dug deeper. The temporal lock didn't just preserve, it manipulated time's flow, letting centuries pass in a year. This tech could rewrite galactic power. A Cephalon delegate spoke, voice bubbling. If they're human, they're owed a voice. Vorak scoffed, his plates clanking. They're a threat, extinct for a reason. The chamber split further. 45% saw potential, 55% danger. Tensions crackled like static. Kala's implants whirred, pulling data. The Ark's orbit stabilized, signaling intent to communicate, not conquer. She relayed this, urging patience. But Vorak's warships closed to 0.9 AU, lasers charging. The Council teetered on war's edge, old grudges flaring. Then a new signal. The screen shifted, revealing a figure. Not AI, but flesh. The chamber hushed. Kala's pulse quickened. Her data confirmed human DNA, 99.9% matched to ancient records. The figure's presence alone rewrote history. Vorak's claws tightened. Ready weapons. His fleet sensors locked, tracking the Ark's minimal emissions. Kala pushed back, broadcasting her findings. They're not firing. Let's hear them. Her calm clashed with rising panic. The figure on screen stood tall, military posture unbroken. The Council braced, some for truth, others for battle. Cylon signals surged, minds straining under collective dread. Kala's console flashed, a direct link request from the Ark. She hesitated, then accepted. The voice returned, colder. We are not your myth. The words landed like ordnance, shaking the assembly. Kala's data confirmed. This was no trick. Humans, long thought dead, had returned. The galaxy's foundation cracked. Vorak's fleet held position, itching to strike. Kala prepared for contact, her mind racing. The Ark's arrival wasn't just a ship. It was a reckoning. Every species felt it. The chamber, once unified, now faced a truth that could burn it all down. The figure on the central holoscreen sharpened into focus, its human contours unmistakable against the stark command deck of the Elysian Ark. The chamber exploded in chaos. Impossible! They were eradicated! A burly humanoid delegate bellowed, his voice booming over the assembly's amplifiers. Others joined the outcry, their shouts overlapping in a cacophony of denial. Official galactic histories had hammered it home for generations. The human genocide 3 centuries prior left a mere 0.01% survival rate, reducing a once dominant species to dusty footnotes in data vaults. Textbooks across 45 species proclaimed it. Humans, aggressive upstarts, purged for the greater good. Yet this image defied it all, a living contradiction broadcast in high resolution. Dr. Kala Kane stood amid the turmoil, her slender frame unmoved by the rising din. Her pale green skin, a hallmark of Nexus replication tech, caught the flickering light from overhead projectors, while her silver-flecked eyes, indicators of embedded data processors, remained locked on her console. With a strong moral intuition honed from years of dissecting ethical dilemmas in temporal physics, she cut through the panic. We need DNA verification from the signal stream, she declared, her tone even and authoritative. Projected accuracy, 95%. This confirms or debunks human origin without escalation. Her proposal hung in the air, a lifeline of reason in the storm. The peace faction rallied behind her words. Representing 18 species, they formed a loose coalition of thinkers and diplomats, their arguments rooted in hard-learned history. A tentacled cephalon envoy, its bioluminescent skin pulsing with agitation, spoke first. We must heed the past. 5 wars in the last millennium stem from miscommunications, hasty judgments that cost quadrillions in resources and lives. Listening now prevents a 6th. Murmurs of agreement rippled through their ranks. A delicate Etherian floated forward, membranes vibrating. Rushing to arms echoes the folly that allegedly doomed humans. We owe ourselves verification. But divisions carved deep rifts in the assembly. 55% of the council viewed the Ark as an imminent threat, their stances hardened by centuries of interstellar skirmishes. Whispers of invasion scenarios spread. What if this was a vanguard for a human resurgence, armed with forgotten weapons? Conversely, 45% glimpsed opportunity, temporal tech that could revolutionize energy extraction, navigation, even warfare. Imagine bending time for our fleets, a sly, opportunistic delegate from the Vexar species muttered, eyes glinting with calculation. The air thickened with suspicion, alliances shifting like sand underfoot. General Vorak, the hulking Krieg military commander, wasted no time. His armored plates clanked as he rose, voice a gravelly command that silenced nearby chatter. Alert level 3 now. Consoles across the chamber lit up with confirmations as he issued orders. Mobilize 200 warships from orbital reserves. Encircle the Ark at the defensive perimeter. His fleet's lasers, each calibrated to 1 quadrillion watts of cutting power, began charging sequences, beams designed to shear through hulls like paper. Scouts reported vectors, ships fanning out in a tactical net, closing to standoff range without provoking immediate fire. Vorak's strategy was textbook Krieg, overwhelm potential foes with superior positioning, leaving no escape vectors. A Zorath delegate, sharp-clawed and analytical, dove into the incoming data streams. His console hummed under rapid inputs, Vought-tipped fingers dancing over holographic interfaces. Analysis complete, he announced, voice a metallic rasp. The Ark employed a temporal lock for precisely 300 years, equivalent to cryogenic suspension at 4 Kelvin, absolute minimal entropy loss, no cellular decay detected. The revelation landed like a shockwave. Humans hadn't just survived, they'd engineered a stasis bubble, evading detection while the galaxy moved on. Delegates exchanged glances. How many other relics lurked in time's folds? The overarching question ignited debates across the floor. If humans reclaim their place, what becomes of our council's authority? A Krieg subordinate snarled, gesturing wildly. The ring crystal, that vast energy belt with reserves estimated at 10 or 30 joules, hung in the balance. Industrial packs had divvied it up, fueling empires for eons. Human return could invoke ancient claims, upending mining rights and sparking resource wars. They might demand reparations, a Cylon envoy projected mentally, her thought waves laced with dread. Species with vested interests in the crystal, those pushing for 70% extraction, bristled, while conservationists saw a potential ally in disrupting the status quo. Kala felt a personal jolt amid the furor. As she coordinated DNA pulls, fragments of her own memories surfaced unbidden. Visions of a verdant planet not listed in any Nexus archive, skies streaked with unfamiliar auroras. A glitch? Her replicated genes carried a documented 2% error rate in memory implantation, standard for data-sourced beings like her. But this felt deeper, a whisper of fabrication. She shook it off, refocusing on the task. Scans progressing, she updated the assembly, her voice masking inner turmoil. Duty demanded clarity. Personal doubts could wait. The council chair, a neutral arbiter drone, called for a 10-minute recess to aggregate data. Consoles buzzed with uploads, sensor logs, historical cross-references, tactical sims. But the pause only amplified tensions. Military signals from Vorak's faction peaked at 60 decibel equivalents, psychic barrages from Cylon's overwhelming sensitive species. A minor scuffle broke out. A Zorath delegate lunged at an Etherian, claws retracted just in time by security fields. Calm, the chair droned, force emitters humming to enforce order. Vorak used the break to refine his blockade. Titan formation, alpha pattern, he ordered via secure channels. His ships adjusted, lasers tracking the Ark's minimal movements. Scouts relayed hull details. No overt weapon ports, but energy signatures hinted at shielded armaments. They're playing coy, Vorak muttered. His faction huddled, plotting contingencies. Strike first if the Ark-powered drives. Kala, meanwhile, rallied her allies. Data doesn't lie, she said to a cluster of Cephalons and Etherians. If human, we negotiate. If not, we expose the ruse without bloodshed. Her console pinged progress. DNA strands unraveling in virtual space. Matches building. The peace block grew bolder, circulating precedents of averted crises through dialogue. Cylon envoys amplified the divide, broadcasting doubt scenarios. Humans as conquerors or worse, fabrications meant to destabilize. Zorath analysts countered with raw data, their findings bolstering Kala's case. Temporal signatures authentic, one confirmed. Opportunists whispered deals, trade tech for crystal shares. The recess dragged, every second heightening the stakes. Vorak's fleet held firm, a wall of steel and energy. Kala's scans neared completion, her implants whirring under load. The chamber's atmosphere crackled, literal sparks from overloaded projectors. As the 10 minutes wound down, Kala's voice rose. Verification at 90%. Human markers confirmed. Gasps echoed. Vorak's claws tightened on his console. Irrelevant, threat assessment stands. The pivotal event crystallized. The Ark's signal proved genuine, paving the way for direct linkage. Political tides shifted in that instant, old power structures fracturing. No more denials, humans were back, demanding a reckoning. Vorak issued stand-down holds, but his ships remained poised. Kala cued the comm bridge, science bridging the gap. The assembly, once a bastion of order, now pulsed with uncertainty. Species realigned, some toward alliance, others toward Armageddon. The figure on screen seemed to wait, patient as time itself. Kala's data sealed it. Contact is inevitable. The galaxy's script flipped, humans center stage once more. Debates reignited post-recess. We engage, a moderate declared. Vorak countered, with safeguards. His lasers stayed charged, a silent ultimatum. Kala's memories flickered again, phantom echoes. She suppressed them, focusing on the link. The council teetered, unity a distant memory. Vorak's blockade tightened, sensors probing. Kala prepared queries, her faction ready. The chamber braced for the human's voice, truths poised to unravel empires. The holoscreen flared, revealing a figure clad in a black-silver uniform, its cut echoing ancient Earth militaries from the 21st century. Admiral Seraph Kyle stood tall, his hair silvered with a faint green sheen, scars of prolonged temporal stasis. His eyes burned with intensity, a warrior's gaze forged in 5 galactic wars, now facing a council that branded his kind extinct. The chamber hushed, every delegate riveted. Kyle's voice sliced through, cold and clipped like a blade. We did not die, we locked ourselves in time. Now we wake to reclaim truth. The Elysian Arc, orbiting at 200,000 kilometers, loomed in secondary displays, its 15-kilometer frame a silent testament to human resilience. Housing 2 million souls in cryogenic stasis with a 98% survival rate, it carried the untainted legacy of a species thought lost. Kel's words landed like ordnance, accusing the galaxy of erasing his people's history. Your records lie, he said, gaze sweeping the assembly. We are the proof. General Vorak's armored plates clanked as he leaned forward. Invader, he growled, dismissing Kyle as a threat. His warships, 200 strong, tightened their blockade, lasers primed at 1 quadrillion watts. Prove your claims or burn. His faction, now 50% of the council, rallied for confrontation, their sensors locked on the Ark's minimal emissions. Vorak's strategy was clear. Neutralize before engagement escalates. Kala Kane, her console alive with data, saw opportunity where Vorak saw menace. This is a chance for dialogue, she countered, her voice soft but resolute. Her silver-flecked eyes scanned readouts, confirming the Ark's temporal lock tech allowed it to traverse 300 years in a single internal year. Their drive manipulates time itself, unmatched precision. We need answers, not warheads. Her peace block, bolstered to 20 species, pushed for contact, citing the potential of human tech to stabilize the ring crystal's volatile 10-30 joule reserves. Kyle's transmission continued, a 5-minute window that reshaped perceptions. Your galaxy is a facade, he declared, voice steady as steel, built on our graves, hiding betrayal. He referenced archives, 10 Moira's 6 pages of untouched human records, detailing a genocide orchestrated to seize Earth's resources. The chamber stirred, some delegates clutching consoles, others whispering of cover-ups. Kale's intensity embodied the spirit. Humans, adaptable beyond measure, surviving where others would break, their resilience outpacing alien counterparts by 200% in endurance metrics. The Council demanded proof. Kyle complied, transmitting a 500-terabyte data packet via secure channels. It flooded systems with logs, visuals, and DNA records of 1 billion dead humans slaughtered in a war masked as progress. Kala's implants processed the influx, cross-referencing galactic archives. Discrepancies emerged. Gaps in early colony records, timelines altered. Her allies shared uneasy glances. The data hinted at manipulation on a galactic scale. Vorak scoffed, his voice a low rumble. Propaganda, designed to fracture us? His fleet adjusted vectors, closing to 0.8 AU, shields flaring. But 10 species wavered, their own historians flagging inconsistencies in ancestral logs. A Cephalon envoy bubbled, "Our chronicles omit entire generations." How? The question gnawed, sowing doubt. If Kale spoke truth, the Council's legitimacy crumbled. Kala's scans deepened, her console parsing Kale's packet. The Ark's tech wasn't just preservation, it weaponized time, capable of localized reality shifts. "This changes everything," she murmured, sharing findings. Her block gained traction, urging restraint. "We verify first," she insisted. "Rush to war, and we lose more than ships." Ceylon delegates amplified psychic signals, pushing visions of human vengeance. The chamber's air grew heavy, minds buckling under 40-decibel mental barrages. A Zorath analyst, claws tapping, confirmed Cal's data matched ancient signals intercepted centuries ago, signals dismissed as noise. "They've been planning this," he hissed, unsure if it meant attack or justice. Kale's presence dominated. His uniform, stark and functional, bore no ornamentation, only scars of battles past. "We hid to survive," he said, voice dropping. "Your betrayal forced us into the shadows." The accusation stung, forcing delegates to face their histories. Some, like the Etherians, leaned toward Kala's call for talks. Others, like Vorax Krieg, saw only a target. The transmission ended with a warning. "Deny us, and truth dies with you." Kale's image faded, leaving screens blank. The chamber erupted again, factions shouting over each other. Kala's data confirmed the packet's authenticity. No forgeries detected. 30% of delegates shifted, questioning their records. The split widened, half for war, half for answers. Vorak issued orders. "Hold fire, but stay locked." His fleet hovered, a steel cage around the Ark. Kala seized the moment, broadcasting her analysis. "Their tech outstrips ours. Dialogue is strategic, not weak." Her calm clashed with rising panic, her block gaining 2 more species. A Vexar opportunist whispered to allies, "Their tech could secure the crystal for us." Greed flickered, muddying motives. The Council teetered, old alliances cracking under new weight. Kale's words lingered, a challenge to power itself. Kala felt the shift. Her own memories, those unverified flashes, itched at her mind. But duty held. She prepped for deeper contact, knowing the next move could spark war or rewrite history. Vorak's ships edged closer, sensors probing for weakness. The Ark stood silent, its intent unclear. The chamber buzzed, consoles overloading with data pulls. Ceylons pushed harder, psychic noise spiking. A minor scuffle broke out, and an Etherian was shoved back by a Krieg guard, quickly restrained. The chair drone hummed, enforcing calm. Kale's accusation reset the game. Delegates grappled with truths long buried. Kala's scans ran non-stop, her implants hot. The council faced a reckoning. Accept the human claim or crush it. Either way, the galaxy's balance tilted. Vorak's fleet tightened its noose, ready for any twitch. Kala cued a response link, her fingers steady. "We hear you," she signaled, hoping to avert disaster. The Ark's silence held, a predator waiting. The pivotal mark hit. Kale's warning shifted 30% of the council, planting seeds of doubt. The stage was set for truths that could burn empires or forge new ones. Kala braced, her data the only shield against chaos. Kala Kane's console hummed under the weight of incoming data from the Elysian Arc, her fingers flying across holographic interfaces. She initiated a deep scan using the Council's quantum computer, clocking at 1 quadrillion floating point operations per second to dissect the temporal interference patterns. The system parsed petabytes in seconds, mapping distortions that rippled through the galaxy's comm networks. Her silver-flecked eyes, markers of her replicated genetics, narrowed on the readouts, subtle anomalies in time streams, invisible to standard sensors. The analysis was built quickly. Kala cross-referenced blackout logs with the Ark's trajectory, confirming the cause. Interference from its movement, warping timelines with a deviation of 0.05 seconds per astronomical unit. Not intentional sabotage, she muttered, compiling evidence. The distortion matched relativistic effects amplified by the Ark's temporal lock drive, a tech that bent physics to human will. No weapon discharge, just side effects of superior engineering. As data flowed, Kala's mind snagged on personal glitches. 3 events in her memory banks didn't align with Nexus archives, childhood vistas of stars not in charts, and conversations with figures erased from records. Her replicated genes carried such flaws, but these felt engineered. She shoved the doubt aside, focusing on the task. The chamber watched, factions poised. Vorak's warships held their blockade, lasers tracking every energy spike from the Ark. The big query loomed. What powered the Ark? Kala's models pointed to memory fusion tech, capable of merging realities across 1 trillion entities. It integrates timelines, she explained to her allies, projecting sims. If deployed, it could rewrite histories without erasing them, human ingenuity at its peak, outstripping alien analogs by orders of magnitude. The Council's own temporal nets paled, limited to basic routing. The breakdown took 20 minutes, Kala presenting via central holoscreens. She unveiled charts with 50 data points, waveform graphs, entropy curves, causality vectors, all proving the Ark's innocence in the blackout. "See the patterns," she said, voice steady. "Passive warp, not active strike. Humans engineered survival, not assault." Her peace block swelled, jumping from 18 to 25 species. Cephalons and Etherians nodded, drawn to the scientific promise. "This tech stabilizes our grids," a cephalon bubbled. "Worth exploring, not destroying." Kala's delivery was gentle, yet unyielding. "Data doesn't deceive," she stated, addressing the full assembly. "But memories can." The line reflected her curiosity-driven ethic, a counter to Vorak's brute force. Her block rallied harder, circulating her findings through secure channels. Opportunists whispered of alliances, eyeing memory fusion for ring crystal mining boosts. Deeper dives revealed galactic flaws. Kala's scans uncovered 15% gaps in first-generation histories, entire eras reconstructed from partial data, accuracy dipping to 85%. "Our foundations are patched," she announced, highlighting voids in council archives. Species histories showed seams, missing colonies, altered battles. If true, the galaxy ran on edited narratives, humans, the erased architects. Vorak dismissed it outright. "Manipulation," he snarled, his voice echoing. "She's compromised, 10% probability of psychic tampering." His accusation ignited debates, Krieg delegates pounding tables, Cylons amplified signals, pushing doubt waves at 40 decibels. A Zorath analyst challenged Kala directly, claws scraping. "Your data's tainted by human code." Shouts erupted, factions clashing verbally. Security fields hummed, preventing physical escalations. Kala held ground, her console shielding her with facts. "Run your own scans," she countered. Quantum verifies neutrality. Her allies backed her, 25 strong now, blocking Vorak's push for immediate strikes. The chamber split further. Hawks demanding Ark's disarmament, Doves urging joint research. Vorak's fleet adjusted, sensors probing for memory fusion signatures, potential weapons in human hands. A Vexar delegate leaned in. If memory fusion works, we claim it. Greed flickered, muddying waters. Kala's presentation shifted 10% of waverers, her charts undeniable. Humans out-engineered us, she said. Learn from it. The edge shone. Humans, thought extinct, wielded tools that made aliens seem primitive. Vorak barked orders. Double scans. Find weaknesses. His ships closed to 0.7 AU, lasers hot. Kala cued rebuttals, her data packet circulating. Cylons pushed harder, minds straining. A minor outage hit, residual interference. But Kala rerouted, keeping the flow. The pivotal confirmation struck. Kala's analysis proved the arc real, no illusion. It opened doors for Kale's deeper claims, altering scientific paradigms. No longer myth, humans were fact, their tech a game changer. Vorak's dismissal fueled the fire. Irrelevant, threat remains. But his hold weakened, species defecting to Kala's side. The chamber buzzed, consoles overloading. Kala felt the tide turn, her glitches forgotten in the rush. The arc held silent, its drive humming faintly. Vorak's blockade tensed, ready for any move. Kala prepared for escalation, her findings the spark for Kale's accusations. The council faced truths. Their history was flawed. Humans were the key to fixing or breaking it. Debates raged on. A cephalon proposed joint probes. Vorak vetoed. Kala's block grew, pushing for contact. The air crackled, decisions looming. Vorak's ships scanned relentlessly, hunting exploits. Kala countered with sims, showing fusion benefits. The standoff held, but cracks formed. Humans' edge loomed large, reshaping alliances. The chamber teetered, Kala at the center. Her analysis wasn't just data, it was a revolution. Vorak plotted counters, but science won rounds. The galaxy's veil thinned, truths emerging. The holoscreens flared again, Admiral Kale's image dominating the chamber. His voice cut sharply, no preamble. You are not true heirs. You are copies rebuilt from memories, crafted to hide genocide crimes. You exist in a false galaxy. The words struck like a temporal pulse, freezing delegates mid-breath. 35 representatives scrambled to consoles, pulling personal data logs. Scans revealed gaps. 20% of species' histories were riddled with voids, events unverified, and timelines patched. Kalakane paused, her console still warm from prior analysis. 5 incidents in her homeworld recollections lacked confirmation. Festivals under dual suns, mentors named in no records, all with a 3% insertion error feel. Her silver eyes dimmed briefly. If replicated, did that nullify 300 years of experiences, alliances forged, losses endured? She keyed deeper probes, cross-referencing Nexus archives. The data echoed Kale's claim, reconstructions, not originals. Kale backed his strike with evidence. Genocide claimed 90% of humanity, he stated, transmitting logs. Visuals flooded systems, worlds burning, fleets vaporizing colonies, survivors sealing into the Ark's temporal lock for a timed wait. Vorak's military bloc denied it flatly. Propaganda, the general barked, his plates shifting, designed to sow chaos. His warships edged to 0.6 AU, sensors sweeping for Ark vulnerabilities. But 10 species found mirrors in their data, ancestral battles rewritten, founders' deeds altered. The accusation hinged on DNA forensics. Copies deviated 0.1% from originals, enough for collective memory tampering, embedding false narratives to erase human roles. Kale's packet detailed it. Post-genocide, victors rebuilt societies from salvaged data, populating with replicates to bury guilt. The chamber boiled. Cylon signals surged 50%, mental static hitting peak overloads. 2 scuffles erupted, a Zorath clawing at a cephalon, security fields deploying, a Krieg shoving an Etherian, restrained by drones. Kala's internal debate raged silently. If copies, those centuries of bonds, conflicts, triumphs, Were they invalid? Pain felt real, growth tangible. She broadcast counters, urging verification. Run your sequences, she said, voice steady. Her peace block held. 25 strong, but fractures showed. Opportunists eyed gains. If false, seize Arctech for resets. Cal pressed harder, his tone unyielding. Distorted truth deserves no place. His decisiveness shone, a human trait forged in betrayal's fire. Colder, more resolute than alien hesitations. The Ark's shields hummed faintly, ready for defense, its memory fusion core capable of timeline merges at a galactic scale. Vorak's fleet responded, lasers locking tighter. Confirm targets, he ordered. Scouts reported no Ark aggression, but energy builds hinted at countermeasures. Delegates dove into archives, pulling species-specific files. A Vexar found erased trade pacts with pre-genocide humans. A Cylon uncovered mental blocks in collective hives. How deep, one murmured. Kale's data provided hooks, coordinates of lost battles, names of erased leaders. 10 more species shifted, admitting parallels. Our origins? Fabricated? A cephalon bubbled, tendrils drooping, chaos mounted. Signals clashed, Zorath pounding tables, Cylons broadcasting doubt waves. Security logged 2 more near clashes, fields humming to separate factions. Vorak rallied the Hawks. We strike first, erase the lie. His plan? 1,000-ship assault, temporal warheads to shred the Ark's drive. But Kala's block pushed back, circulating Kale's forensics. Evidence demands review, she insisted. Her console parsed deviations, mapping how 0.1% twists embedded loyalty to the false order. Kale's image held firm, eyes piercing screens. You live our stolen legacy. The undercurrent pulsed. Humans, survivors against odds, exposing a galaxy built on sand. Their tech didn't destroy. It revealed, forcing confronts no alien empire dared. Vorak's denial cracked slightly. His own Krieg logs showed gaps in conquest annals. Kala felt the weight. Her glitches amplified. 5 unconfirmed events now flagged as inserts. If we're echoes, she thought, echoes still resonate. She shared a unified scan protocol, urging council-wide checks. Responses flooded. 20% holes confirmed across boards. Whispers turned to shouts. We're not real, Vorak barked overrides. Focus on threat. His fleet closed to 0.5 AU. Weapons hot. Kale countered with more data, survivor testimonies. Locked-in Arc modules. The chamber's air thickened. Psychic noise at critical. A third scuffle, quickly quelled, highlighted rifts. The discovery spread like a viral code. Gaps widened divides. Hawks for purge, doves for truth. Opportunists plotted thefts. Kala coordinated verifications, her block gaining ground. War risks all, she said. Vorak's hold slipped, 10 species defecting. Kale emphasized the endpoint. Embrace facts or perish in fiction. His fury, controlled and cutting, mirrored human endurance, adapting where others fractured. The Ark stood ready, its fusion core a silent ultimatum. Vorak issued alerts. Prepare engagement. Ships maneuvered, formations tightening. Kala pushed for a pause. Data as a weapon. The council splintered deeper, war's shadow looming. The pivotal event crystallized. Gap revelations propagated, deepening schisms. No unity left, only paths to conflict. Kala braced, knowing the next moves decided fates. Vorak's lasers charged. Kale waited. The false galaxy cracked, truths emerging to claim it. Vorak's voice thundered across the chamber, his armored bulk slamming a fist on the console. Destroy the Ark now, before they erase us. His hardline faction, the military core, surged with plans for a 1,000-ship assault, fleets mobilizing from orbital yards, temporal warheads calibrated to shred realities. Shields flared on Krieg vessels, energy draws spiking to cover 80% of the blockade. Vorak's strategy was blunt. Overwhelmed with numbers, exploit the Ark's orbit for flanking vectors. We hold the line, he barked, eyes locked on screens showing the Elysian Ark's faint glow. Kala Kane countered swiftly, her console projecting countersims. If they're right, who are we? Do we deserve existence? Her block, the moderates, invoked 7 core ethics principles etched from past wars, emphasizing verification over violence. A Cephalon envoy amplified her words, tendrils waving. Existence isn't binary. We negotiate or risk self-destruction. Kala's data backed it. Memory fusion could boost development 200%, merging timelines for unified progress. Her voice, soft yet piercing, rallied 28 species now, her silver eyes scanning for waverers. A third group emerged, the opportunists, scheming in shadows. A Vexar delegate whispered to allies, "Ally with Kyle secretly. Seize his tech for dominance." Their proposals circulated via encrypted channels. Trade ring crystal shares for temporal lock access. Tipping power scales. The chamber fractured threefold. Hawks for purge, doves for talks, schemers for exploitation. Tensions boiled as votes tallied. 48% for war, 52% for dialogue. A razor edge from eruption. Vorak escalated. "Mobilize full forces?" His command triggered alarms. 300 warships advancing to 0.5 AU. Temporal weapons primed to excise 10% of local reality. Sensors locked on the Ark's modules, probing for weak points in its Titan vibranium hull. Scouts reported energy builds. Kal's defenses humming. Shields rated at 10 or 40 Pascal resilience. Vorak's fleet formed a spearhead. Vectors plotting intercept courses. "One wrong move, and we end this," he growled, his plates clanking with each order. Kala moved fast, convincing her block with hard data. Fusion benefits outweigh risks. Sims show 200% growth in stability. She shared charts, merged histories, reducing conflicts by simulated metrics. Ring crystal yields optimized. A Zorith analyst nodded, claws tapping agreement. War costs more. Her efforts peeled off 5 species from Vorak's side, their delegates citing ethics. Celons pushed counterwaves, amplifying fear, but Kala's logic cut through, her calm a beacon in the storm. The air grew electric, alert level 5 blared, red lights pulsing. Delegates shouted across aisles, security fields straining against near brawls. A Krieg warrior lunged at a Cephalon, restrained mid-step. Vorak's ships closed ranks, lasers charging sequences. "Formation Delta, prepare fire," he ordered. The Ark responded subtly, shield harmonics shifting, a silent warning of counterstrike capability. On the Ark, Kel monitored from his command deck, his silvered hair catching console lights. "Defenses online," he commanded, voice clipped. His crew, 2 million thawed humans, manned stations, temporal lock drives spooling for evasion. Kyle's posture screamed readiness, human adaptability turning disadvantage to edge. "If they fire, we warp," he said to aides, eyes on council feeds. The Ark's fusion core pulsed, ready to deploy fields that could repel or rewrite assaults. Divisions spilled beyond the chamber. 15 species declared neutrality via subspace broadcasts, slashing council authority by 20%. Homeworlds mobilized reserves, old alliances crumbling. A Vexar schemer sent covert hails to the Ark. Partnership? Kale ignored, focusing on threats. Vorak's advance triggered proximity alerts, 0.4 AU now. Weapons hot. Kala saw the brink. "We must talk directly," she urged, prepping a shuttle launch. Her bloc backed her, votes holding the slim majority against war. Vorak vetoed, but cracks showed, his own subordinates whispering doubts. "Gaps in our history," one muttered. Celon spiked signals to 60 decibels, minds fracturing under strain. Another scuffle, quickly quelled, highlighted the powder keg. Vorak's fleet reached critical range, temporal warheads arming. "Target locks confirmed," scouts reported. The Ark's shields flared brighter, a human-engineered wall defying alien might. Kale's voice crackled over open channels. "Stand down, or face consequences." His tone, cold and certain, embodied resolve. Humans outmatched in numbers, superior in will and tech. Kala acted. "I'm going," she declared, boarding a neutral shuttle. Her data packet, proof of gaps, beamed ahead. Vorak roared protests, but the vote held. Dialogue won by a thread. Ships paused, lasers humming at ready. The chamber watched, breaths held. Neutral declarations flooded in. 15 more. Council power dipping further. Opportunists maneuvered. Secret deals fraying unity. Vorak's hold slipped, his assault on pause. Kala's shuttle launched, vectoring toward the Ark. Peace hinges on this, she signaled back. Kal prepared reception, his defenses primed for betrayal. The standoff peaked, war's edge, one trigger pull away. Vorak's temporal arms could erase swaths. Kal's fusion might merge them into oblivion. The pivotal risk materialized. Total war loomed, forcing Kala's intervention. No rest, action chain, decisions dire. Vorak's fleet hovered, itching to strike. Kala's craft closed, the galaxy's fate in balance. Humans' edge shone, survival through cunning, pushing aliens to the brink. Delegates gripped consoles, eyes on feeds. Vorak barked holds, but tension coiled. Kala's move bought time, barely. The chamber fractured, awaited contact. War or words? The line blurred, fates intertwined. Kala's shuttle pierced the Ark's outer shields, docking clamps engaging with a metallic thud. Alarms blared briefly, Vorak's fleet tracking her every vector. 300 warships holding at 05 AU, temporal warheads armed. She stepped into the Elysian Ark's corridor, airlock sealing behind. Human guards thawed from stasis, scanned her with handheld devices, their movements efficient, no wasted motion. Kyle awaited on the command deck, his uniform crisp, eyes scanning readouts of council fleets poised for strike. On the Ark, Kale stood at the fusion core controls, fingers hovering over activation sequences. The weapon, a temporal eraser, could wipe replicated realities across 100 parsecs, deleting copies without a trace, restoring original timelines. His crew monitored scopes, Vorak's advanced formations, lasers at full charge. Charge complete, an aide reported. Kyle nodded, his silvered hair catching the console glow. Once a warrior of 5 wars, he'd evolved, doubt creeping from Kala's transmitted data, gaps in his own resolve. Kala entered, her pale green skin contrasting with the Ark's sterile grays. "Admiral," she said, voice level. Guards stepped aside, weapons lowered but ready. Kale turned, posture rigid. "You risk much coming here." The dialogue ignited, 15 minutes of tension in the humming deck. Kala pressed forward. "If we're false, what then? 300 years we've lived, loved, died. We're real now." Her words echoed her growth. From mediator to advocate, her replicated flaws are now strengths in empathy. Kyle countered, voice steady. "Twisted truth merits no survival." But he paused. Kala's scans projecting. Dual memories boosting resilience 150%, merging strengths without loss. Human tech simulations showed it. Fused timelines enhancing adaptability, human's edge amplified. Vorak's fleet inched closer on screens, 0.4 AU, probes testing shields. Kale's hand twitched on controls, the eraser's field humming, capable of unraveling replicated existences in a pulse. The exchange peaked. Kala advanced, data hollows swirling. "Destroy us, you erase human echoes too. Multi-layered reality, science proves it viable." She cited models. Origins blending, no purity lost. Conflicts dropping 70% in projections. Kyle, once unyielding in betrayal's shadow, felt the shift, from vengeful survivor to reluctant unifier. His eyes met hers, silver flecks mirroring his stasis scars. Outside, Vorak barked orders. "Lock finals!" His warhead spooling, reality-tearing fields charging. Kale hesitated, core sequences paused. One path erases, another imposes. He chose the third. Memory fusion. Initiate, merge. The Ark's core surged, releasing temporal fields across the galaxy. Dung hop at 1 trillion entity scale. Originals and copies intertwining. No explosion. A subtle wave, timelines folding like paper. The galaxy shuddered for 5 minutes, stars blurring on view screens, memories layering. Delegates in the chamber clutched heads, flashes of dual lives, pains shared, triumphs doubled. Vorak's fleet faltered, sensors scrambling under the field. "Hold fire," he roared, but commands glitched, warheads powering down involuntarily. Kala steadied against a console, her glitches resolving. Nexus origins now fused with human echoes, no longer voids but bridges. Kale watched readouts. Fusion complete, no entities lost, all bearing dual memories. Purity gone, hybrids born, his transformation sealed, from destroyer to architect, embracing complexity over vengeance. The wave subsided. Council reform via emergency links, decisions now mandating dual memory reviews, original and replicate layers weighed equally. Simulations projected a 70% conflict drop. Ring crystal packs revisited, equitable under fused truths. Species adapted fast, neutral declarations retracting as shared histories bound them. Vorak stood down, his hawks silenced by internal shifts. Krieg wars now seen through human lenses, aggression tempered. Kala and Kale stepped to the Ark's balcony overlook, Solaris Prime gleaming below, its surface pulsing with 10, 20 joules of stabilized energy. The planet's spires, once symbols of division, are now unified under merged skies. Kale gazed out, his posture eased. Once driven by singular truth, he'd grown, accepting multiplicity as strength, human adaptability proven in the merge. Kala stood beside, her evolution clear. From doubtful replicate to fused visionary, her ethics bridging divides. Kyle spoke low, voice reflective. I sought one truth. Kala smiled faintly. Sometimes the only truth is embracing all truths. In that moment, their minds layered, pasts intertwined, futures shared. The galaxy, riven no more, entered an era of complex histories. No pure origins, only resilient blends. Humans' legacy endured, not in dominance, but in the quiet power of acceptance, where fragmented truths wove a stronger whole.